Welcome back. Next we have Craig Reed, the Director of Events at the Downtown Raleigh Alliance. And Craig, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Summertime at Downtown Raleigh. What's coming up?
It's definitely a busy season, as I'm sure most people and yourself know. A lot of good events coming up. July is a pretty packed event month. You know, obviously the July 4th event is a big one. We have First Friday on the 7th coming up, which is really exciting. We're actually doing First Friday is produced by Downtown Raleigh Alliance, and we're going to start doing some events actually in conjunction with the First Friday program, which if you don't already know, that's once a month. It's an art walk throughout downtown, so you know, different art venues, different stores, retail, bars, restaurants get involved, and so we're actually having a pop-up event in the brand new Go Raleigh station, which is right across from Moore Square, and that was completely renovated recently, and they have a cool little courtyard, so some live painting, some kind of gypsy jazz music, some information, things like that going on. We're really excited about that event. In addition to that, one program we run from April through October is the Downtown Raleigh Farmers Market, and that's a really exciting market. It's right in the heart of downtown on Fayetteville Street. Runs from 11 to 2 p.m. Just once a week, but we have some really good products out there, local farms, a lot of different makers, everything from soap to homemade dog treats, some kind of grab-and-go food, wheatgrass, you know, all sorts of really cool things out there, which is exciting.
My wife always wants me to go to the farmer's market, so we'll see you down there probably very, very soon. How well attended is that? I mean, downtown Raleigh, see, when this goes back years, I mean, it was kind of a ghost town, and now, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
It's definitely changed. As you know, someone who's obviously a downtown employee and a resident, it's been a dramatic change for the better. I think most people would agree. You know, ever since they opened back up Fayetteville Street from being a pedestrian mall and now a more active street, it's really gone uphill as quickly as possible. It's kind of exponential growth we've experienced in downtown. Every week, farmers market, I would say easily 1,000 to 2,000 people come through. You know, it's not going to be one standing crowd, of course, because it is a market, but you know, a lot of people come through. One exciting thing is actually at the end of the month on July 26th, we have an annual event, Cheese Please, which is it's a grilled cheese cook-off. So we get chefs from different restaurants in downtown, and they use all local ingredients if they can, at least as much as they can. So local cheeses and breads, and they make, you know, their own kind of take on a grilled cheese. And then attendees, they come, and for a suggested donation, they get, you know, a different sample from about 3 or 4 different chefs. And for that event, we probably see about 4,000 to 5,000 people. So
oh, no kidding. That's all part of the farmers market.
That's all part of the farmers market. We have music there every single week. You know, a lot of really great venues, or just vendors out there, probably about 30 to 35 vendors. And the cool kind of success story of the market has just been a kind of an incubator for a lot of local folks. Kimbop is an example, Andia's Ice Cream, people who started in these smaller markets, you know, not just our own, but farmers markets in general. And because of the success they've had and maybe the exposure, they've been able to open up their own brick and mortar shops, which is really nice to see.
Well, that is neat. If you want to be a vendor, can you be a vendor? I mean, is there a limit to
mid-season,
that?
we get a little bit more full. So beginning of the year is really when we take submissions, but I always tell people, you know, reach out, apply, you know, go to our website, go downtownraleigh, you know, .org. Feel free to reach out to me. If we have a spot, if I can kind of help out a community group or someone else, I'm always happy to do so. And at the very least, you can get on that waiting list for next year.
Oh, that's very cool. I know you have movies downtown.
Yes.
Where do you show the movies?
We show the movies on Fayetteville Street as well. City Plaza is the section of Fayetteville Street, you know, right there, which they actually redesigned to be kind of this, they call it the living room of downtown. So we actually have a movie tonight. I'll be going out there. And then we do the movie series for 6 weeks throughout the summer. We start end of May, and then it goes through June.
Was this outside? I mean,
yep,
on a big,
outside, big inflatable
like
screen.
See, I used to go to drive-in movies, kind of like that.
It's the closest thing you'll find to that. I don't know of a drive-in movie theater close by anymore these days. But
no, I don't
what's fun about this is, you know, we provide some chairs for people to sit on. There's some food trucks. There's beer. There's wine. There's games for kids. And that series, as well as we see about 4,000 or 5,000 people come out there for that as well. So,
wow. How long have you been doing this, Craig?
I've been doing this roughly about 2 years with this organization.
We have, okay.
And it's fun just being able to be involved in downtown, working with a lot of stakeholders from residents, all ages, businesses. You know, downtown's definitely changing a lot, and it's exciting to be a part of that growth.
It's a kind of a mindset. I mean, again, I'm going back to where Raleigh, it wasn't all that long ago, 10 years ago or so, where there really wasn't much happening, but it does take businesses and getting the community from outside the city to come downtown.
I think the biggest thing that we've seen is, you know, for so long, downtown was just the capital. You know, there was lawyers, politicians, things like that, and it was kind of busier during the day, and then at night it died off. I think we really need to thank a lot of the bars and restaurant owners who really kind of brought people back out at night and kind of made things, seem familiar and seem welcoming. From that, we've seen a lot of retail start to grow, which is very important. And then for those two things, now we've seen residential. A lot of downtown apartment buildings, things like that. I mean, the warehouse district,
Yes.
there's the Dillon Supply building will be going in, the new downtown Raleigh Union Station, which will be the transportation hub. I mean, it's a lot of really big growth and investment in downtown. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's about a $1.5 billion pipeline in just downtown of invested, recently completed, or in progress construction going on. So
Well, it's phenomenal to see the transition from what it was to what it is today. Now, for folks who have not really ventured downtown and they'd like to take any one of these events, any tips? Parking is always one question I get from a lot of folks.
So parking is always intimidating with any downtown for a lot of folks,
It is,
especially if you're
yes.
from a more suburban, background. But there's a lot of decks downtown. There's actually a Downtown Raleigh app which you can download on Android or Apple. That's free. It's just DT Raleigh, and with that you can find parking decks. You can see parking hours. All street parking is free on weekends and after 5 p.m. So there's limited street parking, but you can always look for that. The decks, there's a fair amount of them, and I always tell people if you can, take public transportation, carpool. If you're close enough, bike, walk. Try to, if you can avoid getting in the car and get out of your comfort zone and jump on one of the buses, something like that. That's always the best way to get around.
Sounds like a lot of fun. All right, well, if you're looking for something to do, downtown Raleigh. Stick around, we'll be right back. Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.